Hi, I'm Greg Robinson and this is myphotographyshow.com. I'm here right now to critique this image. This image was sent in by Michael, who says, I'm always trying to get a shot of unusual lighting effects at a concert. However, having to push the ISO makes them noisy and using Lightroom noise reduction makes them a little soft. I'm grateful for any suggestions. Thank you for all your help. You're welcome, Michael. I'm going to critique this image in 3 different steps, I think. First off, we'll have a look at your settings, then we'll have a look at your composition, and then your colors, even though there is only 1. Or if not 2, let's say black and white, those are 2 colors, okay? Let's get going. Now, as you can see, Michael was using 400 ISO for a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second and an aperture of f/4. Given the lighting conditions you were in, Michael, I think f4 was the way to go. Pushing your ISO up to 400 was also a good idea, even though it brought you a bit of noise. But that enabled you to get a shutter speed of 1/125th of a second, which is fast enough to freeze the action. What I would have suggested if you wanted to bring your ISO down and so reduce your noise one more level, let's say, is to bring your ISO down to 200. That way you could have got your shutter speed up to 1/60th of a second, which at one moment, if the musician stops just for a few seconds, you can shoot your camera, or trigger it anyway, and that'll give you enough slow motion in a way to freeze the action. Okay, 1/60th can be done, okay, as long as the guy's not jumping all over the place, even though he probably was. That would have been alright, it would have been better, okay? In terms of composition, now, you've composed this pretty well actually. I like the kind of respect to the rule of thirds you're doing here, in the sense that we have the musician's face, which is here, and our eye sort of follows down to this I suppose it's a lightning bolt on the left of the image, and so with this diagonal line coming from the microphone, it looks pretty cool actually. I like the general composition, let's say. It's pretty good. For those of you who do not know the rule of thirds, here it is one more time. You create two vertical lines, one of 33% and the other one of 66%. Now I propose you try and do this when you're taking the image, it's always better. And then another 2 horizontal ones, one of 33% and another one of 66%. So that way I've cut my image in 9 different parts, 3/3 actually horizontally and 3/3 vertically. These points, these intersecting points, are your main interest points. This is where if you place your subject on one of those points, your image will feel complete. As you can see, Michael, you've placed your musician on this second third, and the lightning bolt is taking the majority of this first third, the vertical ones. As for the horizontal, your lightning bolt is respecting the bottom 2/3. So that's great, honestly. What's a bit of a shame is if his face were here, it would make the image a little more interesting. So what I would have proposed for that would have been to take the image by slightly tilting your camera a little higher, okay? This would have enabled you to get a shot. I know you've cropped this because it's a square, and I don't think you're taking pictures as squares for the moment. Take it roughly like this, even though the top is a little black. And that kind of gives us, let me get rid of these views there, the background. Let's make it all black. I have to do it like that. Should work. Come on. Now if I create a new guide, I'll do the horizontal 33%. There, it's, well, yeah, all the others have appeared, so I'll get rid of those. Actually, no. Let's do it another way. I'm going to clear all the guides, and then I'm going to create a new one. It's a bit faster this way. Horizontal 33%. There. So that's smack on his face, as you can see. Why doesn't this background want to become black? There we go. So with his face placed there, we kind of feel that the image is complete, okay, it's finished. Whilst before, we kind of felt you needed something above the image. Although you filled your frame with your subject, which was great, I feel it would have been a little better with a tiny bit more space on top of his head. But as I see the image now, I feel that we're missing a bit down here on the Thunderbolt. So what I would have suggested once again is go in with a wider lens and kind of frame it this way, So a real vertical, this is probably how you shot it at the beginning, you know, and by cropping it, it looked different. But I want you to be black, there we go. So the lightning bolt would have to continue at the bottom here, but that image feels complete, that image feels done, finished, okay? So those are the main things I see. About the red, you can't do much about that. That's why photographing musicians during a concert is always different to creating an image in the studio with the musicians. That's why often for their albums or for signature images or composites or whatever, they always call the photographer to do it in a studio. If you have to recreate a musical studio inside the photographic studio, then you just have to do it that way. Okay, well done for this image. Thanks for sending it in. All you other users, please do not hesitate to send your photos in for a critique. Don't be scared, don't hesitate. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to say anything that's going to hurt you. We're all here to learn. I personally find this is the best way to learn of how to take photos and better photos. So send them in on myphotographyshow.com. Find us on Facebook at myphotographyshow. Become our friends, like our page. Find us on Twitter to follow us there, because we've got different things going on Facebook and on Twitter. So just have a bit of fun on the social media. And especially come and join us on myphotographyshow.com. This is Greg Robinson waiting for your critiques.